This is the AB4WS radio show. Every week, bringing you the exciting amateur radio news and information happening in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana areas.
The AB4WS radio show can be found on the Apple Podcast app or your favorite podcast application. The Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club held their annual Christmas dinner meeting on December 11th at the Golden Corral in Florence, Kentucky. The room was filled with area hams and their loved ones sharing dinner, holiday spirit, and amateur radio tales. Past President Greg Lamb, who was recently released from the hospital, was able to make the meeting, and all were glad to see him doing so well. Many old and new members of the club shared stories and ideas, and even a young gentleman who was looking to obtain his amateur radio license showed up and joined in the festivities. This meeting signifies the passing of the baton from the former officers to the newly elected officers who are working hard to hit the ground running, promising a new direction for the club to be filled with unique experiences and event opportunities in 2024 for all members of the club. To keep up with what's going on at NKARC, join the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club groups.io group.
If you contacted, that Victor or hotel contact.
Did you get a chance to work the ARRL 10-meter contest this past weekend? The bands were full of signals, both on sideband and CW. Logan, K8SUP, worked the contest with his grandfather, Tom, NV4H, from the North Radio Hut in Edgewood, Kentucky, and did very well. How did you do? The amateur radio station aboard the International Space Station will once again be transmitting slow-scan TV images from space starting December 16th until December 19th. This will commemorate the 40th anniversary of STS-9 and the first amateur radio operator operating from space, W5LFL Owen Garrett, now a silent key. The International Space Station will be transmitting on 145.800 MHz using PD120 format. You don't need an amateur radio license to receive these slow scan TV images, nor a sophisticated setup. A radio receiver or a scanner and your phone with an SSTV app can receive and decode these images. For more information, go to ARRISS.org. The University of Cincinnati Amateur Radio Club, W8YX, announced that they have been awarded a grant of $35,000 from the Amateur Radio Digital Communications Group. This grant will play a pivotal role in evaluating the club's capabilities by facilitating essential upgrades to a variety of the club's equipment, transceivers, and antennas. The UC Amateur Radio Club has a rich history spanning over 100 years and has been the cornerstone of technical innovation, communication, and community engagement on the UC campus. This grant is a testament to the club's dedication to advancing the field of amateur radio and the commitment to providing a valuable learning experience to their members. With these funds, they are looking forward to providing a substantial improvement benefiting the amateur radio community. Congratulations to the University of Cincinnati Amateur Radio Club. Well done. The Dayton Hamvention Group has announced that they are getting ready for another great Hamvention in May of 2024, unveiling their new logo and the theme for 2024 of Expanding Our Community. They also are accepting nominations for this year's Amateur of the Year, Technical Achievement, Special Achievement, and Club of the Year. Make a nomination, or for more information on Hamvention, go to hamvention.org. Congratulations to KC4WQ, Buddy Soul, who received the Bullittt County Amateur Radio Society Amateur Radio Operator of the Year Award. Sad news from Kentucky this week with the passing of Barry Jackson, WB4N, who passed away on December 9th. He was an active operator in the Maysville, Kentucky area. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his many family and friends. It is the 5th year of the 12 Days of Christmas on the Air special event, which runs from December 14th to December 25th. There are 12 stations plus 2 bonus stations. Look out for W2P, the partridge, W2T, 2 turtle doves, W2F, 3 French hens, W2C, 4 calling birds, W2R, 5 golden rings, W2G, 6 geese a-laying, W2S, 7 swans a-swimming, W2M, 8 maids a-milking, W2L, 9 ladies dancing, K2L, 10 lords a-leaping, K2P, 11 pipers piping, W2D, 12 drummers drumming. The bonus is VE9XMAS1 and VE9XMAS2. For more information, go to K2RYD page on QRZ. The Winchester, Kentucky Pioneer Amateur Radio Club will hold their meeting on December 19th instead of the 4th Tuesday of the month because of the Christmas holiday. And they'll be holding nominations for the 2024 officers and will be presenting the contest awards.
CQ, volunteers on the air. W1AW, Portable, Kilo Hotel 6, QRZ.
The week of December 13th through December 20th, the volunteers on the air, W1AW portable operations, are Montana, W1AW/7, Maine, W1AW/1, and Indiana, W1AW/9. This will conclude the volunteers on the air, W1AW portable stations for the 2023 event. For more information on volunteers on the air, go to vota.arrl.org. On December 21st, the Kentucky Digital Voice Groups have gathered together to experiment with a combined D-Star, DMR, Yaesu Fusion, P25, and Echolink net, a true multi-mode digital and analog voice net. For now, this will just be an experiment to use for events or in the event of an emergency where all forms of communications might come together in one place. Another great tool to have in the old ham radio toolbox. What is being billed as the Kentucky Chrismas multi-mode digital voice net will begin to take early check-ins on December 21st at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, with the net officially starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. How is this possible? Well, it all started out as an open-source XLX project, which started with just D-Star and DMR. And as it matured, Yaesu Fusion C4FM was added. How does it work? Well, say you have a DMR radio. Your signal goes from your DMR radio to your personal hotspot, which is connected to the XLX server over the internet. The XLX server transcodes your signal into the other digital voice modes and transmits them out to the other radios connected to the network. There is some latency involved, so it is important for you to wait 3 to 5 seconds between each transmission. So how do you connect? Well, if you have a DMR radio and a hotspot on a Brandmeister DMR network, it's as simple as transmitting on talk group 3121232. Just that easy. You can also connect directly to XLX 721 server over DMR by connecting your hotspot to XLX 721 module A. You would then use talk group 6 on your radio to communicate between the hotspot and your radio. For a DMR repeater connected to a C bridge, just add the talk group 3121232 on time slot 2, most often on your repeater. Key up once and connect, then you can talk after that. If the repeater is silent for 10 minutes, the talk group will be disconnected and you will have to reconnect by keying the mic again. For those using a D-Star radio, connect your D-Star hotspot to DCS 721 Alpha, key up, and then go to Use Reflector in the UR field of your radio. And now you are included in the conversation. If you're using a Yaesu radio, perhaps an FT5D, well, connect your hotspot to YSF51149, key the mic, and you're in the conversation as well. Echolink users would connect to KY4RW-L. This entire system is the work of Ray, KY4RW, who with the help of Larry, NN4H, have put this multi-mode system together and worked out many of the bugs. Remember, this system, minus the Echolink connection, is available anytime. So go ahead and connect up. Got a friend with a Fusion radio and you have a D-Star radio? You can use this multi-mode XLX 721 reflector system to communicate with each other. Check it out. The Ohio DMR Net will not be held on December 25th or January 1st due to the holidays. Winterheat 2024 is coming soon. Winterheat is a month-long VHF-UHF simplex event designed to provide participants with a chance to make as many simplex contacts as possible during the month of January. Registrations are now open at hamactive.com/signup/index.php. Robert Gully, K4PKM, has decided to bring back the Newcomers Net on the first and third Sundays of the month at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on the 146.670 repeater with a 123.0 PL tone. Robert will lead the net, allowing time for questions from new hams, and will also have a topic for each net as well. This is a great net for new hams to get accustomed to checking into and participating in amateur radio nets and have their questions answered. Mark your calendar for the first and third Sundays of each month at 7 p.m. The Brunch Bunch will be meeting on January 13th at 1 p.m. at the West Shine Family Restaurant, 3245 Westburn Drive in Green Township, Ohio. Come on in and join the fun. The Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will once again offer online classes to pass the FCC General Class exam. These classes are held over Zoom on 6 Sunday afternoons from 1:30 to 4 p.m. The first class will start on January 14th. The classes are free and available to all interested hams with technician class licenses or those studying to complete their technician class license by the end of the classes. Class materials will be distributed via Google Classroom, and the suggested book is the General License Course Study Guide 2023 to 2027 edition, available from hamradioschool.com. For more information, go to tiny.cc/BAHAMG. Are you aware that there's a DX Net held every Monday through Friday from 2000 hours UTC to 2130 hours UTC on 14.247? Tune in and pick up those exotic DX contacts that you need for your log.
Do you know where the action's at?
This is where the action's at. Frequently I'm asked, Jack, where is the activity on the bands? I don't hear anyone on the air when I'm listening. Well, if this is you, a new segment every week on the AB4WS radio show is where the action is. Of the show, we'll spotlight particular nets and networks and where you can usually find activity on your radio. Well, if it's the last Thursday night of the year and you're looking for where the action is, plan on going back in time to the days of that angel music.
CQ, calling CQ for the Greater Cincinnati Amateur Radio Association 1936 Net. The GCAA 1936 Net meets every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on this frequency, 1936 kilohertz plus or minus QRM. Tonight's a special night. This is the last Thursday of the year, and on the last Thursday of the year, we run AM. We usually meet in sideband, but on the last Thursday of the year, we meet in AM, and of course, that's tonight.
Yes, on December 28, 2023, tune that transceiver to 1936 kilohertz AM at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, with early check-in starting at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time for one of the oldest net traditions in amateur radio, the Greater Cincinnati Amateur Radio Association, which was founded in October of 1936 by the newly formed Greater Cincinnati Amateur Radio Association. The net operated every week until the beginning of World War II. The net was reformed in 1986 by some of the original members to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the GCARA and has been active ever since. On the last Thursday of the year, the net switches over from lower sideband to amplitude modulation for a classic, memorable event to say goodbye to the old using AM and welcome in the new year in amateur radio style. This is a net that you just have to experience. Operators check in with 1920 and 1930s vintage AM equipment all the way up to modern SDR transceivers, and the stories and contacts are certainly worth the champagne celebration. Bill Donemeyer, NM4A, is the net control for the event. An early check-in start at 6:30 p.m. and Bill taking official control of the net at 9 p.m. with the official start. Follow along on NetLogger for the progress on the net. On the last Thursday of the year, this is certainly where the action is. If you're interested in a monthly list of ham radio activities, please email Mark Landis, KD8ZLD at MRLANDIS@yahoo.com, and get on the email list for a complete list of amateur radio nets, events, and DX opportunities, contests, and other items of interest to the Cincinnati area for ham radio operators.
Repeater news.
The Milford Amateur Radio Club has added a weather station to their 147.345 repeater with a 123.0 PL tone. This will provide an announcement of the temperature, wind speed, and direction at the top of the hour on the repeater. This enhancement was made possible due to donations and the hard work from the members of the Milford Amateur Radio Club.
Hamfests.
On January 14, 2024 is the Sunday Creek Amateur Radio Federation Hamfest at the Shade Community Center, 2380 Old US 33 in Shade, Ohio. For more information, contact KC8QDQ.
Are you looking to upgrade your license? Do you have someone else that's interested in the hobby? Here are some upcoming exam opportunities.
The Milford Amateur Radio Club holds amateur radio testing on the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. at the Miami Township Civic Center, 6101 Meyer Drive in Milford, Ohio. Please pre-register at milfordhamradio.org. The Dayton Amateur Radio Association has exams frequently. For their exam schedule, email exams.w8bi@gmail.com. On January 6th at 10 a.m., the Greater Mason County Amateur Radio Association will be sponsoring an amateur radio license exam session at the Emergency Operations Center, 668 Kenton Station Road in Maysville, Kentucky. Registration is required by contacting Greg Taylor at 606-584-0014 or email him at drtaylor@maysvilleky.net. On January 13, 2024 at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session sponsored by the Winchester Amateur Radio Association at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On January 13, 2024 at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio testing session at the Clark County Emergency Operations Center, 200 Maryland Drive in Winchester, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/AC4YD. For more information, contact Darrell Epperson, AC4YD, at 859-771-1834. On January 23, 2024, at 6 p.m., there'll be an amateur radio testing session at the Anderson County Extension Building. Use the rear entrance, lower level, at 1026 County Park Road in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. For more information, contact Brian Carter, KI4TLW, at 502-545-0376. On January 27, 2024, at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio testing session sponsored by the Wilderness Road Amateur Radio Club at the American Legion Post number 46 at 45 Spears Lane in Danville, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions. For more information, contact Carol Miller, AF6MB, at 541-602-6535. The Western Kentucky DX Association will sponsor an amateur radio license testing session on February 4th, 2024 at 2 p.m. at the Woodman Life Building, 519 Old Morgantown Road in Bowling Green, Kentucky. For more information, email Henry, W4HTB at W4HTB@IEEE.org or call him at 270-793-4822. On February 10th, 2024, at 10 a.m., the Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society will be giving an amateur radio license exams at the Red Cross Building, Classroom A, 1450 Newtown Pike in Lexington, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/KE4MAI. For more information, contact Fernie Williams, KE4MAI, at 859-536-3393. On February 10, 2024, at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session sponsored by the Westchester Amateur Radio Association at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. On March 9, 2024, at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session at the Georgetown Police Department, 550 Bourbon Street in Georgetown, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WX4GPS. For more information, contact Ron Malinowski, WX4GPS, at 502-542-8252. Special thanks to this week's content contributors, WHCI, K8NAL, WB8YYS, KD8ZLD, K9HIO, N8LAR, K4NKU.
If you have something you think other amateur radio operators in the area would be interested in, send the information or your recorded audio file attached in an email to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Covering your amateur radio news and information in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana area, this is Jack Prindle, AB4WS in Big Bone, Kentucky.